Welcome. It's 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. The Tooele City Council and Redevelopment Agency of Tooele City are meeting in a work meeting. This meeting is being held in the Tooele City Hall Council Chambers located at 90 North Main Street in Tooele, Utah. This is also being streamed electronically on the Tooele City YouTube channel. We will start with the roll call. Councilwoman Manzione.
Present.
Councilwoman Gochis.
Present.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Councilman McCall.
Present.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I'm also present. We'll move on to item 3, which is the mayor's report.
Thank you, Chairman and Council. I've got 4 items that I want to update you on, and we've been talking about these for a couple of weeks, but just letting you know that the 2000 North traffic signal that is planned for 2000 North and Aaron Drive, the entrance to the hospital, that would be the one. They have been delivering the parts for that signal, and we expect that to begin the construction to get those put up very soon. We also notified today that beginning next Monday, July 21st, the 700 South water line will begin to be installed. That will take a couple of months to get that done, and there will be some inconvenience on 700 South, obviously, but none of it will be like shut down all the way. There still will be lanes open so that the travel can still happen there. But the residents will be notified when those are happening, and we'll keep everyone updated. We also talked about putting up some of the signboards, so the electronic signboards, that will help. Also, next Monday, July the 21st, we will have the all-way stop put in, the 4 stop signs down on 700 North and 1st East. This is an intersection that we've had studied a couple of times, but it finally warrants, the traffic numbers are high enough now that it warrants the all-way stop there. And then the very best news is that beginning this week, they're already on site, but the test wells, 2 of the test wells will begin drilling this week and followed with next week, and we hope that with what all of the experts say, that we will be able to get some good water sources there, and if the water tests great, then we will begin immediately to drill both of those 2 new wells. So just letting you know, starting. Good stuff. So that's all I have to report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Nguyen. We'll move on to item 4, the council members' report. We'll start with Councilman McCall.
I attended the change of command ceremony today at Dugway. They got a new commander, and our cargo was for tomorrow is canceled. So that's about all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Again.
That was canceled again, you're saying?
It was canceled again. Okay. I don't think we didn't have it last month either.
Okay. Councilman Hanson.
Well, I haven't been here too much lately, but I've made a little bit of the 4th of July stuff, and the city was awesome as usual, doing wonderful things. And then yesterday I was thinking about Darwin, of course, because I was sitting up at the cemetery for a while just hanging out, and the cemetery is beautiful this year, and we was at England Acres, and it was just amazing, and I'm just thinking our city's doing great things. So it was exciting to see that, and Mayor, I don't see Darwin here, but commend him because he's doing great things with his staff and making that happen, and as the rest of the city is. But it's kind of good to be back to a meeting.
Happy to have you
Glad
back.
to be here.
Councilwoman Gochis.
Thank you. We haven't met for a while, so I wanted to report that I did attend Lieutenant Rob Benson's retirement, and that was well-deserved and recognition for somebody with a job well done. I also attended the celebration of homeownership open house that is open to residents who provided the sweat equity to their homes. That's really exciting. I attended the Miss Tooele City competition, so I'd like to congratulate our new royalty and Miss Camry Bird who was our queen, and her attendance. Also to thank Cami Perkins and her volunteer staff who make this program successful. They work really hard. We had a successful community barbecue, karaoke, and Corvette show. The flag retirement ceremony. Want to express appreciation to the VFW and to the Utah National Guard who participated. Of course, our parade and park activities were just top-notch and well attended by our residents. A good time was had by all, especially the kids who caught candy. We had a great turnout at our Independence Day concert at Tooele High School, Hotel California. That was really fun, and our fireworks show and music were just topped off the night. So we had excellent 4th of July celebration here in Tooele. It really is a hometown to be proud. Also, I attended our pre-development meeting today that was held today, and also, I watched the Planning Commission via our YouTube, so that's a nice opportunity to do that as well. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Manzione.
Sure. I will just reiterate my thanks for everybody and their participation in the 4th of July activities. I know the staff works extra hours, volunteers extra hours to make all that happen, and so I appreciate their service to that. And Mayor, if you would convey, I think all of us agree that it sounds like we all agree those are just great activities and very well attended. I was able to go on a visit to Plastic Ingenuity at the Peterson Industrial Depot with Mr. Perez and some representatives from the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. Great business. I think some of you went to the ribbon cutting when they opened about 4 or 5 years ago, and they're considering, they have property for expansion, so it's good to get in there and see that the businesses out there at the depot are flourishing and even looking to expansion, so it's a great visit. And then I just wanted to mention on KSL, there was an article about our community engagement department a couple days ago about the block parties that Tooele City hosts, and it was a really good article. There were some negative comments, as there always are on those posts, but a lot of them I think were very misinformed. It's a great service that the city provides as far as getting to know your neighbors, and when we get to know our neighbors, we have less crime, and people are looking out for each other. And funny thing, about the same time, somebody in my neighborhood hosted one of the block parties, so I was able to go by and just visit with some of the neighbors, and it was great. I met people that I didn't know, and so I think the concept works, and I appreciate the efforts the community engagement department works on to get those to happen. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. I attended many of the same events. I was just going to echo about the 4th of July activities. I don't think the typical resident realizes how much goes into that, how much planning, and the staff does an amazing job to pull that off. So all the kudos to the staff, and thank you for all the work you do with that. I think that concludes my report. I don't have anything else significant right now.
Mr. Chair, I
Yeah.
did want to say that we missed you cooking.
Yes. Dave and I struggled with that.
I didn't miss being there. I enjoy cooking.
Yeah,
Nobody died, so that's
we
good.
struggled, but we hung in there.
Got it, yeah. All right, we'll move on to our discussion items. Our first discussion item is a discussion on a proposed amendment to the Tooele City General Plan to adopt a water use preservation element as required by Utah state law. This is presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Council. I appreciate the time you've given me to present this to you tonight. As suggested, we are proposing an amendment to the Tooele City General Plan. We're proposing the addition of a water use and preservation element. Why are we doing this? Well, because the state said we have to, and Utah State Codes 10-9A-403 and 17-27A-403 require cities to have this element in their general plans. And I also think it's a pretty good thing to have, given the state of Utah and our water situation here in the state, especially in Tooele. So this would be a welcome addition to our general plan. What does the state want us to do now with this? So I'll just go through a brief overview of what the state's requiring for their water use and preservation element, and then see if the council has any feedback for me. The water use and preservation element is required to include some basic description of the following. Number one, the effect of permitted development on water demand and water infrastructure. One way that we manage or monitor the effect of water demand on infrastructure is through water and sewer modeling, which we require for all new development that comes in. That is included in the water use and preservation element. Number 2, methods of reducing water demand for existing development. Number 3, methods of reducing water demand for future development. Number 4, active consultation with public water systems serving the community regarding water supply planning, drinking water sources, storage capacity, distribution planning, master plans, and replacement plans. Number 5, modifications that can be made to local government's operations to reduce and eliminate wasteful water practices. And number 6, consultation with the Division of Water Resources, Division of Drinking Water, and the Department of Agriculture and Food. In putting together the water use and preservation element, I consulted with many of city's staff and department heads, received feedback from Jamie Grand Prix, from Darwin Cook, from Paul Hansen. Shannon Wimmer provided some input, so did Shiloh and the attorney's office. So it's been a kind of a collaborative effort to make sure we have all the information we need in our water use and preservation element. The good news is much of the work has already been done and is already included in Tooele City's existing water conservation plan. So it really wasn't a difficult task in putting this together because a lot of the work's already been completed. So staff's objectives, particularly my objective in regards to this water use and preservation element is number 1, to comply with state law. Number 2, to provide an easy to read and understand document. And number 3, keep it short and simple. And my goal as the Community Development Director is to keep things short and simple. I believe in brevity. And this document is only 6 pages, but it's pretty clear on how the city is working to preserve and manage the use of water resources. I'd just like to go through some of the highlights of the preservation element. First of all, there is an introduction which explains why we have the water use and preservation element. It goes over the goals and policies and strategies that Tooele City will follow in order to improve water conservation and will serve as a guide for the city's development review process. We'll also provide guidance and information for anybody that wants to look through the general plan and see how the city is working to conserve and preserve its water resources. It includes a direct link and connection to the city's water conservation plan so that those who read the element can also refer to the water conservation plan if they'd like to. It includes our current conditions in regards to how the city has made progress in efforts to conserve water and to ensure that we have enough water resources for the needs of the city in the future, both through public awareness, education and training, and then rebates and incentives and rewards. It also includes a list of the ordinances and standards that the city has in place to continue to preserve our water resources. You may remember a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, we went through a significant code amendments and we made some changes to encourage water conservation. We eliminated the use of turf grass in park strips and around parking lots. We prohibited the use of grass in industrial and commercial landscaping. We limit turf grass use to areas of active recreation and multifamily residential developments. And we limit the use of turf grass to 50% of the front and side yards of new residential developments, new residential homes. Those ordinances are now included in the water use and preservation element. It also includes how the city engages in education and training practices. It describes how the Public Works Director regularly visits local elementary schools and instructs the children on water conservation principles. It also provides tips and information and links to various agencies for water conservation. It does describe some information about rebates and incentives, particularly the Utah Water Savers Program for the Flip Your Strip initiative, which you're all familiar with. It includes a detail about water pricing and how the city utilizes a tiered water pricing system. The more water that you use, the more you pay. That is a good incentive to try to get people to not use as much water. Doesn't always work, but can help. It includes improvements to the physical system, how the city maintains its system, what it can do to improve the system in regards to the types of pipes that are installed, types of valves. I know the Parks Department has been working to use valves that are have sensors that are sensitive to rainfall and so forth. Darwin weighed in on that for me. And it includes consultation. It includes links and information for various agencies that can provide consultation to those who are looking for tips and information on water conservation. So that's a brief synopsis of the water use and preservation element. Again, this is an amendment to the general plan, so once adopted, this element will just be inserted into our existing general plan and will be there for whoever would like to read through the general plan and see how the city is working to continue to conserve water. I do have this on the agenda for Planning Commission next week, so I was reaching out to the City Council tonight to see if you had any feedback or any information you'd like to have included in the plan, and I'd be happy to update that and send it to Planning Commission with your recommended changes. So if you have any questions or any feedback, I'd appreciate that.
Any questions or comments?
I thought it was really easy to understand and very clear.
Yes, that's my goal.
I also like the link that will be able to be updated so that you don't have to reprint the whole general plan, that we'll be able to keep current with the changes.
Yeah,
And that was really,
Update the elements instead.
yes.
It's nice when the state mandates things and we've already been doing them, so that shows that we did have some foresight. And City Hall, it looks amazing without all the turf. It still looks beautiful, and the library looks great too. So I hope residents see that and know that you don't always have to have grass to have a beautiful yard. So the general plan looks great though, easy to read like everyone said, so good job.
And we did include a description of the city's efforts with City Hall and the library and stuff, so.
Great. Any other comments, questions? Okay.
Okay, I'll
Thanks,
move it
Andrew.
forward through the process and bring it back to you for formal adoption.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
you. Discussion item B is a discussion on parking where there's no curb. This is City Code 10-3-24, presented by Adrian Day, the police chief.
Thank you, council. This is being brought before you because certain persistent citizens keep requesting more and more enforcement in certain areas, not only to me, but it's gone up to the mayor. In 10-3-25, it's illegal to park in certain areas, many areas, including sidewalks and gutters and curbs. 10-3-24 in front of you is, I don't know when it was created or why, but this makes it illegal to park any vehicle where there's no curb. And what's wrong with it is where it says, when it is practical to stop, park, or leave such vehicle off the street. I don't know when to define that. When you come home and grab an apple, is it okay to do it or not? I don't know. What's practical? So it's hard to enforce, and do we want to enforce it? I see two options: changing the wording so we can enforce it, or removing it, because in 10-3-27, it's illegal to park in the right-of-way, not the street, but the right-of-way for over 48 hours. So we can still enforce this if they're using it for storage. It's not completely illegal to park there. Things to take in consideration is not every street is the same. I have two examples if they're on here, the next slides. We have one street without any curb, measuring from one side to the other, including the right-of-way, we have about 24.1 feet. If we go to the next slide on West Vine Street where there's no curb, we have 69.5 feet. So there's differences where there could be trouble to park there and not in others. So I'm just looking for direction on council to come forward in a business meeting, whether to remove this code or change the wording.
Okay, any questions or comments?
I have a little bit of a concern because I live on a street like that. And on Sunday, I have all my kids come over for dinner and they have to park in front of my house. So it's like, it's a little difficult
Yes,
in a rural area.
right. I see no reason with it being illegal just to park in the right-of-way where there's no curb. And we can enforce that if they're using it for storage.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
park there permanently.
Yeah,
It's
if there was
just a
stuff,
on a
the
very
48-hour
temporary
thing
basis.
would be, cover that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, I agree, we have the same thing here and there, at different houses. And in our area where we live too, there's lots of that. And there is cars stored on them, which would probably be nice to do something about
Right.
sometimes, yeah. But yeah, that wouldn't affect your kids,
No, I
as
just
long as
like,
it was just for dinner. If you got them more than 2 days, you can kick them out.
yeah.
Call Adrian. I see the challenge here because
Yeah.
the Pinehurst, is that the other road? I didn't realize it was that narrow. 24 feet is a very narrow road.
It is.
Is there a way that we could limit parking on specific streets? Because I don't think it's the curb that's the problem, it's the size of the street. Like Pinehurst is so narrow, could a fire truck even get through there? It turns into a safety issue more than anything.
Yes. Yes, and we could word the code in streets that are 25 feet or less, come with some kind of standard. It's illegal to park there, and change the wording that way if you'd like to see that.
Do we know how many streets that would be? Is it 10, 20? I would hope it's very minimal because that's not good to have streets that narrow.
Yeah, it is minimal, but I didn't even think of certain streets that you've brought to my attention right now. I mean, Drew Bay too, on the north end, there's parts where there aren't any curb, so. But that's wide enough. How many on these side streets, such as First, Second? I don't know how many will affect. We can look into that.
Well, the section from Vine Street from Broadway to 700 would probably be one of them, because that's a narrow strip of the street. And I honestly think your question was great, because when there's cars parked on that street, it would really be hard for a fire truck to get through there.
It's hard for just a regular car
Just
to
a
get
regular
through
car to
there.
get through, yeah, that's a bad area.
I feel for these people on Pinehurst, I know that their driveways probably aren't very long either, but if your neighbor's house is on fire and a fire truck can't get there, then your house is going with it as well, so.
True.
I would be more inclined to change a code where it's limiting to certain streets that we feel like are a safety hazard more than anything. And it's not a parking issue so much, it's a safety hazard for fire safety and police response and things like that.
I can get input from Chief McCoy, how many feet he would like, and word it from there and bring it to the work meeting and see how you like it.
How big of an issue is it? Like, is this a little issue or a big issue?
Small issue.
A small issue.
Well, it seems like we had a lot of discussion about fire truck width and stuff
Yeah.
on alleys.
Yeah.
We call them alleys, they're the
Yeah.
50 and 150 and all that, where there's no curb and gutter. People are parking their cars on the back half of their lot, and so
Yeah.
it narrows the street up. Same kind of a problem. We did have discussion about that, how much room they need, which was every bit of that 20-something feet, really what they need when they have a fire.
You bring up a good point. We're dealing with a small few, but the second there's a fire in a small area, that's a big issue.
Just on that picture that you have there, though, there's 3 or 4 cars at least, and that's just a snapshot, right, of.
Yeah.
I do feel if whatever we do, if we do change this in some way or form or another, the individuals on those particular parts of the street, like say from Broadway to 700, I think we either need to put up a signage when you approach that area, and probably notify all the citizens in that area, this is the change that has been made. Because like from Broadway to 700, those homes have been there a long, long time. And naturally, the people that are there now with kids, a lot of those homes don't even have a driveway. You know what I mean? Or if they do, it's only one car can get in there. So I think if we do any changing, we need to do as much as we can to let them know that that change is coming, so that they can try to figure out a way to get their cars off the street, because there's cars on the street there all the time.
And I would think Broadway would be wide enough.
Well, it's not on Broadway. It's from Broadway to 700, going towards St. Marguerite, that one little corner.
Okay.
As soon as you cross over the dip, from there down to 700, it's narrow.
Really narrow.
Oh, I see.
It's really narrow.
And that's tricky every day.
People on both sides and cars coming both ways, it's tight.
Do we have a list of streets without curbs by chance? Would the streets, I doubt we have record of it.
So council, this issue really came up because of this Pinehurst issue. And as we looked into it more, we really believe that we have a larger right-of-way than that 24 feet you're looking at. And so Jamie has just signed a contract with a surveyor that we are going to survey the area and really identify exactly what the right-of-way is. And there is a big possibility that if we've encroached upon the city property and we can widen that road, we will. That's a difficult area anyway. It's an older area. That's why the streets are narrow. But if we can improve that roadway, it's not about a curb. It's being able to have enough pavement, I guess, to drive down, especially for the fire truck. So we'll work with fire also. But as Chief and I have talked about this code, the code just doesn't work. And removing it completely is not going to hurt us. We just need to make sure the other parts of the code address the issues. And if it is about if the road is only so many feet wide, you can't park on it. We right now have not got any parking allowed on Garden Street behind City Hall, from Vine Street to Utah Avenue, because we have fire trucks coming up and down, but we have a lot of other vehicles and businesses around that need a wide space to get into their business, and the road is not quite wide enough, and it's 30 feet or close to 30 feet. So we'll address these on a case-by-case basis, but when we have a code that we can't enforce and a resident knows that code is there, they keep reminding us the code is there and you need to enforce it. So that's why we would like to really just get rid of it completely and address other sections of the code that make it enforceable and fix this issue. And we fix it here, and then if there's another problem somewhere else, we'll fix it there.
So question, when it comes back then, if we remove this, can we have examples in other code where we have that fix or the safety issues are addressed, just so that we can see that it's taken care of?
I believe we have a code. I don't have my phone on me. I ran out of power, but we have a code dealing with parking when it doesn't allow enough room for vehicles to pass. It has a certain amount of feet.
Right.
And that one might be sufficient. I can bring that one and look at it.
Because I think it's really poorly worded. I had to read it 5 times to even understand what it was saying. And I'm like, it doesn't even make sense as it's written, so.
Yeah.
And there are roads that do have curb that are really narrow, such as Southwest Drive. That's a really hard street to drive down if somebody's parking on it. There's always a car that's on that.
And we get complaints on that one all the time in the code I'm talking about. That's exactly the one I looked into, and there was enough room with a vehicle parked there for them to pass. So unless one was on this side and one on this side.
Kind of stagger.
Yeah, if they were staggered, it was okay. If they were parallel, then we'd have a problem. So maybe we need to change that code and widen those feet a little bit, and maybe that would do it.
And not allow parking when it's so narrow that not safe to do so.
Yes. Okay, that gives me direction. We'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6 is a closed meeting. We do have a closed meeting tonight to discuss litigation. I will entertain a motion to move to a closed meeting.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we move to the closed meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. It's 5:59 PM. We will reconvene in the large conference room.